Okay friends, today we will be starting new topic, that is mode of production. But before starting the mode of production, I would like to know, please, what is dialectical materialism according to Marx?
Changes in society is not due to the idea or consciousness, it's due to the economy or matter.
Economy or matter itself, isn't it? And for this, it was explained brilliantly by Engels, and he said that it contains three elements. What are these elements? Law of unity of opposites. Law of unity and conflict of opposites, law of negation, and law of transition from. Very good, very good. Now just briefly explain me what is the law of unity of conflict of opposites.
Both are indispensable but mutually exclusive. So if there is conflict, that will lead to change.
Everywhere, everything in this world contains two opposing elements sustaining together, but they are conflicting in nature.
Yeah, they are incompatible with you. Although they are living with each other in unity, but incompatible. But they are indispensable. Any example?
Chemical molecules.
Light and dark.
Yes, electron, proton. What you have said? Yeah, birth and death, light and dark. These are the things. Without important. If you don't know about the darkness, there is no importance of light, isn't it? One aspect, unity of opposites. Second, negation of negation. What does it mean?
So it depends on the theory of thesis, antithesis, and then synthesis. Means the older orders they don't want change, and in antithesis we accept the changes, and again
we want the changes, and the outcome comes in the synthesis, isn't it? And remember, this continues the changes in the society. This maintains the changes in the society, because Marx himself considered that society can never be static, it is in gradual changes. Then what is the importance of the third element? Third, that is transition from quality to quantity. What does yes?
Changes in the social structure of the system comes in a gradual process, as you said, and it comes with increase of quantity and increase in participation of people, but the qualitative change occurs abruptly at the end of upon maturation.
Substantial quantitative change will lead to qualitative change.
Qualitative change. Any example?
Birth, aging and death.
Birth, death, aging, death, both are there. Now explain this example. No, you have given the right example. Explain it according to qualitative to quantitative change. How can you explain?
So qualitative change is abrupt. I mean that exists in yesterday, but today it's not.
Yeah, what wasn't existing yesterday is existing today. That is the example of birth. And what was existing since a long time, but today it doesn't exist, like example death, isn't it? So this is the process through which the transition takes place. This has been explained. Remember, this is the philosophical base of Marx. He has taken the term dialectical materialism from two philosophers. One is Hegel, another Feuerbach. Yes, very good. Now let us come to the historical matter.
Birth and death, what is the quantitative aspect of birth and death?
Quantitative or qualitative?
Qualitative is it's abrupt.
See, quantitative, what it says means when we are talking, See, actually what we can expand it, birth takes place, growth takes place, then after some time maturity or the decaying takes place, then the dying stage takes place. All these the qualitative changes, isn't it? And then the death takes place, that is the abrupt stage of transforming from one phase to the another phase. It means what was since 50 years or 70 years, now there is no existence and never the person will able to come again. That is from the quantitative change to qualitative change. Okay. Now, as we quoted about, she said about the birth. Birth means again here qualitative change, that there was no existence of anybody. The moment birth takes place, existence comes. That is abrupt. It was not in the process. That is the qualitative change. Okay. We'll have to expand those things. Means birth is also abrupt change. That is not in the process in the real world. But then onward the continuity takes place. And then again abrupt change takes place. Death. Okay.
So
Yes, please.
conflicts are the quantitative change.
Conflicts.
Conflicts.
Remember, conflict, it depends. Is it revolutionary or just a smaller scale of conflict with each other? Revolutionary, it comes in that is means large degree of conflict that brings abrupt changes. Otherwise, all sort of, as Marx has said, all sort of changes takes place due to conflict itself. Some sort of changes are taking place, but revolutionary change will bring abrupt change in the society. Okay. What is historical materialism?
Matter decides the course of history.
Economic.
Yeah. In a technical way, economic interpretation of human society or a European society, isn't it? How he has taken the help of historical materialism, or just say on dialectical material, on the basis of dialectical materialism, explain historical materialism. Don't get confused. Remember, my friend, we have studied it and we said that how historically the changes has taken place, and at the mature stage conflict has taken place on the basis of dialectical materialism has unfolded over there, and then we have come to the next stage. What are the different stages?
4 stages.
Yes.
Primitive
Communism. Ancient society.
Ancient society.
Feudal society.
Then Then he invests about the 5th stage, that was communism. Yes, in all these stages, the society was divided into two. In capitalist,
It's lords and serfs.
bourgeois and proletariats. Here, master and egalitarian.
Yes.
Why it was egalitarian?
Surplus was not there.
Surplus was absent.
Community life.
Why there was no surplus?
No advancement.
There was no knowledge of agriculture or usage of
Yeah, they were food gatherers and hunter communities, isn't it? And so there was no surplus, And Marx says that this was the only stage in human society which was egalitarian society. Then how it transformed into ancient society?
Knowledge of agriculture came and the settling for
Surplus
land,
came.
usage of lands took place.
Agriculture came or horticulture?
Horticulture. Animal husbandry.
Technically try to explain it. Yes, you all are not wrong. I said that how changes took place. She said something.
I said surplus took place.
Please close it. You will get plentiful of time. उसके बाद तो फिर घर पे आप कर ही लेंगे इसको. हाँ बोलिए.
Surplus took place. First ever.
For the first time, surplus took place due to advancements in the technology at their level, and that led to the next stage. Masters and slave. What was the position of slave?
They don't have right to have a family or.
Yeah, they didn't even had the basic right of human being, that was right to form a family or property. If there was no right to form family, how the recruitment of new members in the labor force was done?
Different places. They used to
Depending
move
their
from one
territory.
place to other.
Yes, very good, very good. Then came feudal system. What was the main what was the significant thing during the feudal system?
Land and animals.
Land and
Animals.
yes. Is there any difference between serf and slave?
Yes, serfs have right to have.
Both are labor class.
Serfs have right to
Technically,
have
there is
families.
difference, but in actual sense, they were still the oppressed section of the society.
They were different, sir. They were given some rights as compared to earlier ones.
The right to form family, some sort of
And so
property
they are
also
given
was
land.
donated by the lords,
Given by
isn't it? Yes, technically they were considered as free, but practically they were not free. How?
Because they cannot change their roads.
Why?
The access.
Yes, nexus between the state or the king and the lords. What was the nexus?
Army. They used to
Provide armies.
Whenever the state is engaged in war, isn't it? That was the main reason. Then capitalism emerged. How capitalism emerged? What transformation took place?
Industrialization.
Yeah, we came to know about the inanimate source of power, energy through wind and water and other things. Means it is also indicating about the industrialization of factory system emerged, isn't it? And that led to capitalism. In capitalism, he says that there was two sections, bourgeois and proletariats. Means the bourgeois are like lords and proletariats are like serf, isn't it?
No, sir, they are skilled in
They're paid
factory
to
work.
their work.
This?
They're paid wages for their work in capital.
What are the, yes, these are the difference. Any other difference between them?
Social relation, bro.
Yeah,
Social relation between them, bro.
social relationship between them broke. Weak, yes, very good. Means now there wasn't any social relationship. In serve, we used to serve the lords from generation to generation. But here, only the skilled laborers, skilled person of the family is invited. Until you possess the skill, you are of my utility, I will be giving you the compensation, and then onward, nothing. No other social relationship was there. A major change took place in the mode of production during capitalism. That was, remember, early to capitalism, always the family was the production unit. Now it became consumer. Why consumer?
Because not everyone was skilled enough to do the.
Yeah. Means here there is requirement of skill, and that is the reason for the first time in the history the family became a consumer unit. Isn't it? Now how the communism will come? Yes?
From socialism.
Yeah, socialism is the first stage. He said that for a smaller span, socialism will be there, and then it will move to communism, where the state will wither away. But how this change will take place? He says that contradiction at every stage comes. Now, what will be the contradiction here?
So the proletariats demand for their rights, like property, which they have privatized for their own purpose.
They'll come to realize that they were being oppressed, or they are not given equal the rights.
Yeah, not equal right. They are hard working, but the compensation is not in this ratio. But how will they become conscious about this?
Development of relation at one point. Yes.
Why it will happen? Serfs were also living together. They are also living together.
But
How?
industrial system, they used to work under one roof, so they get to be
Factory system already we have mentioned. In factory system, living under the same roof and working together, not for a day or a month, but years and years. And as we know that man is a social animal, and so a friendly relationship is bound to take place, and then we will start sharing the exploitation of the bourgeois class, and the unity will take place. And he says that these united proletariats will overthrow capitalism, and then communism will come. First, socialism will be there, means there won't be private property, private ownership, but public property according to the need it will be given. And he said that this stage is a proletarial dictatorship, and then gradually they will move to the advanced stage, that he says communism, state will wither away, and people will have their own control and satisfaction. Now here again the question comes about the contradiction, what you have theoretically said. But now Marx says that I am interpreting the theory. Let me say that again contradiction will come, but not in as a form of conflict, but in technology. And this technology will help in betterment of human beings. Advances of technology will give comfort to the human life, isn't it? On this particular platform, he has talked about the historical materialism. My friend, from Marx, as is the nature, means in 4 or 5 years they ask any full length question, not in a regular pattern as Durkheim or Parsons are there. But it is necessary for us to understand, means short notes will be there, but not in regular way the long questions will be there. But again it is very important for us to understand, because Marx, if you have clarity of Marx ideas, in whole sociology it will act as pinch of salt. What is the characteristics of pinch of salt? It will add flavor to your dish, isn't it? The same thing will happen. So we should have clarity about this, and it will be very helpful in paper 1 as well as paper 2, not directly but also indirectly. Okay, now let us come mode of production. Only important for short notes. Just let me explain it technically. Mode of production is forces of production plus relation of production. Mode of production is equal to forces of production and relation of production. Now it comes, what is forces of production and what is relation of production? degree of it talks about degree of control over environment or nature. Relation of production talks about economic control. Under forces of production comes means of production plus labor force. Now it comes what is means of production. It talks about various things, that is tools, techniques, machines, equipments, etc. Relation of production talks about owner and non-owner. Owner means capitalist and the tenant or labor. Now remember, there is direct relation between forces of production and relation of production. First, clear what is forces of production? The degree of control over environment. Just now in historical materialism we have gone through the various stages: primitive stage, ancient stage, feudal state and capitalist stage. These are the stages we have gone. Aren't they talking about the degree of control over the environment? What was the degree of control during the primitive communism? The least. Better in the ancient, best during the capitalist stage. It is talking about, and these are the forces of production. Okay, remember one more thing: forces of production, I have said here, means of production plus labor force, means the machineries plus human being, the labor force, they have been applied. This to both or this together makes the forces of production. Relation of production, it is about the economic control. Who controls the economy? We know that one will be the owner, other will be the labor or the tenants, non-owners who are doing those things. Because when we are talking about production, what is production?
The process through which raw material is converted into finished product.
Half complete. And please, my friend, production is the only process which keeps the society or human being united. This persuades or forces the human being to cooperate with each other, exist together. Because production cannot take place only with one aspect. If you have money, no skill, it is useless. I have skill, no money, it is useless. Means both the parties will have to negotiate. isn't it? The labor as well as the capitalist, they will have to come to the cooperation, and in any stage when these people will come to the cooperation, then only production takes place. So you are forced to cooperate with each other, isn't it? Other to it, relation of production, as we have just now discussed, it is indispensable. Both the parties has to come together. Plus independent of human will. You can't wish and come to any of this situation. For that you will have to prove that are you owner or you are a non-owner, isn't it? If you don't have money, you can't become an owner. If you don't have skill, you can't become a labor force. So it is not independent, but the social existence, social situations puts us in one of this category. So on our wish, we can't choose any of them, and other to it, this relationship is indispensable. What it means? Other to it, forces of production, as we have said, degree of control over the environment. Marx has said that society is in constant changes. Yes, forces of production is dynamic. Constantly it is changing. We regularly improve our technology, and that improves our society. In constant change it will be. On the other hand, relation of production resistive, means they resist the changes. They don't want to make changes here, but they are always, everybody wants the changes should be here. Now what is this relationship? Yes, forces of production is talking about the technological changes to control the environment, more advancements will take place. Here this relation of production is talking about the relation between the owner and non-owner. At every specific stage already we have studied. There is a specific relation between the owner and non-owner. Master, slave, serf, lords, bourgeois, capitalist. Every stage there is a specific relationship. Now master and slave relationship. Will the master like that we should move to feudalism? If changes are, and change is bound to take place because of degree of control over here, improvement is taking place in the forces of production because it is dynamic, isn't it? So the masters will always consider that there shouldn't be any change. Yes, the slaves will appreciate the changes because it will help them to get better opportunity in life. Resistance is taking place. The same thing about the lords. They will resist the changes which is taking place in capitalism. So it will be resistive. Means the older order resists the changes, and because change will take place due to change in forces of production. On the other hand, the non-owners, they always appreciate the changes. And because you are appreciating the changes, conflict is bound to take place. And when conflict takes place, again apply this dialectical materialism here. Conflict will take place, and a revolutionary change means abrupt change will take place from one stage to another. In this process, in all these stages, the changes has taken place. Why changes has taken place? Because the technology has developed. Economic interpretation, technology has changed, and technology has changed. So at the mature stage, new opportunity were thrown to the have-nots, and they appreciated. Conflict takes place, and the changes goes on. Okay.
But
even if they learn new skills, they won't be rewarded in the same proportion. So I guess that there will be resistance on their part as well.
Now what happened? Just let us go here. Forces of production, we are saying that gradually it is in changes. When they will have to learn, already we have studied that during industrial revolution, from the rural area, they started migrating to the urban area. Means learning the skill is also a gradual process. Abruptly all the people doesn't move. Means those who gets the opportunity, they inform the others, come and get trained, you will get a better opportunity. And it is a process of change. It takes hundreds and hundreds of years, isn't it? It is not that abruptly the change, gradual changes. When the gradual changes comes to the mature stage, then a specific change takes place, abrupt changes takes place, isn't it? During industrialization, naturally it was a period of 50 or 60 years there. Transformation took place in the society, and it is more than enough to transform the society. Other to it, the non-owners, their exploited class. It is very easy to give a dream to the poverty-stricken people. Everybody wants that, okay, I can take the pain if my children has a better life to live, opportunity to live. So this is a human tendency. Okay, now let us return again. Yes, in his mode of production, actually Marx has discussed this mode of production in two ways. First, he has said that how the society is constituted. Or made up of already we have right now discussed that how the society is made up or constituted. Yes, my friend, to make the technical word easier, you can keep in your mind, although you should use the word the mode of production. Easier way to remember it, that it is structure of society. Last time in historical materialism we had said economic interpretation of human society, and according to Marx this is economic structure of the society. Economic structure on the basis of forces of production and relation of production. We know the forces of production, and we also know that with the change, directly with the change in forces of production, even the relation of production comes under stress to change itself. He said that in our society changes has been taking place for a long time. But he quotes about French Revolution. That was also a revolution, abrupt change has taken place. But he said that this was the first stage, this is not the real revolution. Why? He said that French Revolution was actually a revolution or conflict between minorities. Yes. Who were involved in French Revolution? And businessmen, isn't it? Or emergent industries or merchants, isn't it? If you remember, when we were in the topic of French Revolution, at that time some of the merchants has said that why we are given unequal treatment if it is about the nobility, that for the welfare of the people, we are the people who generates the maximum number of job. We work hard for the development of the society, for the country, and these are the debauches, they are getting extra respect. This was the main issue of the So now Marx is correct here that that was a conflict, that was a revolution. Abrupt change took place, democracy prevailed. But he said that that was more also with the nobility and the bourgeois class. More appropriate it will be bourgeois class. Yes, the bourgeois wanted more space because new type of development is taking place. At that time we know that French society was a feudal society. So different type of system was there, and that was not very much congenial or very much friendly for the capitalists to pursue their business. Conflict took place, and as we know, thesis, antithesis, synthesis means supporter of the bourgeois, the new, because the bourgeois class was the commoners. And we have already studied that how the commoners were supported by intelligentsia and the physical mass support by the artisan peasants class, the labor class, they supported it. And so he said that actually that was the revolution, but the conflict was between the minorities. The non-owner class was not very much involved in it, at least not in a significant way, or it didn't affect their own life. But he says that now onward, with the industrialization, the real revolution will take place. And he says that due to change and classless society, he invests about the classless society. Communism is classless society he is investing about. He says that the change will take place and it will create a classless society. How a classless society will be created? He says earlier it was conflict between the minorities, but due to industrialization, due to factory system, I hope that the moment I am saying factory system, you are able to understand under the same roof and all these things, isn't it? Due to factory system, the proletariats will develop consciousness. He says that no revolution can take place effectively till subjectively and objectively you become conscious. Now what is this subjectively and objectively becoming conscious? Yes, he says, objectively I am a labor. We are labor class. But once we leave our premise, we have different backgrounds, isn't it? Variety of backgrounds, may be religion, caste, or some other background. Our parents were well developed or some underdeveloped, be whatsoever. Here we are having equal status, but once we come out of the premise, we have different diverse status in the society. Objectively we are one, but subjectively yet we are not one. He says when objectively and subjectively will become one, the solidarity will take place and revolution is bound to take place. Means if I am labor, I recognize that I am a labor, we are labor. We don't search for a height that outside the premise we will start showing off that we are such and such. No, if we are in pain, we should admit that we are in pain and this is my position in the society. And once we admit in subjectively and objectively we become one, a revolution is bound to take place. Till we are not one, according to him, there is least chances, but he said that because of the factory system, such situation is coming that a unity is bound to take place. And due to this, he says that the proletariats will overthrow. Remember my friend, always he says that proletariats will overthrow. Not the labor force will overthrow, proletariats. And what is proletariat?
Industrial labor.
Industrial labor. Because he is very much optimist. The logic is behind that they are getting ample of opportunity to come together because they interact with each other. The farmers, they are also poor. They are more in number than the proletariats, but they don't have opportunity of daily interaction. And because if you don't interact, you can't become united. So he says that proletariats will one day come and they will overthrow the society, the capitalism, and then he invests about the classless society. Got it? This is more than enough. What we need, first we need to define what is mode of production. What is the purpose? First purpose is how the society is made up. On the basis of forces of production and relation of production, the society has been made up. Why? Because we are talking about economic structure of society. Isn't it? So economically we have defined that this is the way through which the society has been made, and economy is the main source of any sort of transformation in the society. Why he considers that economy or economic changes or economy can only bring changes in the society? He has referred it as infrastructure or substructure or base. What is infrastructure and superstructure?
Infrastructure is economic.
Yeah?
It's economic structure.
Yeah.
Superstructure is other political or
Political, religious, spiritual, law, and all the things. Remember, my friend, he says that all states, in every stage, those who have controlled the economy, they means those who have controlled the infrastructure, they had control over the superstructure. They have deliberately created the superstructure to facilitate their infrastructure. In any of these stages, don't you think the type of kinship system or type of labor force was very much supporting the type of economy? Isn't it? During the ancient period, slaves were not given even the basic right of getting married or forming a family. It was because they were nomadic. They were moving from one place to another. And at that time, the lighter the group you have, easier you can move around. In feudal system, sedentary life, agriculture, settled life is here. And in that we need more and more muscle power. We have the serfdom. From generation to generation, they have a continued or regular supply of labor to the lords. Means infrastructure determines the superstructure. Yes, in modern time, Marx says that even the laws protect the capitalists, those who control over. As we know, the recently, what was that? Related to Salman, the deer had made suicide. Black bug. He made the suicide as the law interprets it. Means what to say? Remember, what he has said hundreds of years back, it is relevant now also. Or even if, just take an example. We say that everybody is equal near law, in the eyes of law. But again, remember, we have to see the condition of the society or the person. Just take an example. If two teenagers comes into conflict, one is from posh area, one is from slum. What is your expectation? Whom the police will arrest? Even if they go to court, if the court says that 10,000 should be paid as a bail, will the slum boy be able to do it? And for the posh area boy, it is a normal thing, isn't it? Or even if we are talking about the value system, who can make a suit of defamation? Can a rickshaw puller take this act? We are just talking about that how those who control the economy, they create the superstructure accordingly to facilitate them. Isn't it? So there are various value systems and others, even the laws, he said, every aspect. Ruling class. Ruling class is also controlled by the bourgeois class. It is said that in India, no finance minister is appointed without consultation of FICCI or ASCOM. Means they are such a powerful lobby. And this is the reality. Isn't it? So these are, and if this is the reality and if they can influence the governance, it means directly or indirectly they are the ruling class or the whosoever is in the governance. They will favor the person who has, or just in last election we heard for the first time lot the name of Adani. Isn't it? This is the reality of the society. You belong to any of the class, but if you want to be a ruling class, you will have to take their support. And once you have taken the favor, naturally when you will come to the power, you will return the favor. And such things is bound to take place. All this Noida and others, NCR has developed under the nexus of the capitalist and the politician itself. They were given in low price to the capitalist class for the agriculture. The purpose has been shown agriculture, and now there is concrete jungle. Isn't it? So these are the realities. See, hundreds of years ago he had invested, and right now also it is existing in our society. Okay, now let us get alienated from it. Our next topic is alienation. The word alienation has been coined or has been taken from Latin word alien. I hope you people have seen Alien. Never met any alien. What is alien? Strange, foreigners, all these things. Yes, alienation also says that when a person loses interest in himself and works or performs his work subconsciously just to feel the or fulfill the social needs or biological needs, this socio-psychological condition or mental condition is known as alienation. Yes, when an individual loses his interest in himself and subconsciously just to fulfill the social needs and biological needs, they perform their work, it is known as alienation. Various scholars has said or has given different remark. Hegel has said the reason of alienation is now we are moving towards materialistic ideas, not the truth. As we know that Hegel says that we can know the truth through ideas, and he says that now instead of searching the truth through ideas, we are becoming materialistic, and that is the reason of alienation. It is from, he says the main reason of alienation is that people have started behaving unnaturally. We pretend in the society about ourselves, not a natural way of interaction is there, and gradually we develop a habit of presenting ourselves not in natural way. And in the long run, the same habit leads you to alienation. You don't like to smile on somebody, just as a counselor. A stranger comes and the counselor gives a smile. Is she happy? The person is stranger, but this is under the duty to perform, so you are throwing the smile. And in regular way, if there are 50 visitors and you are doing the same thing, isn't an unnatural behavior? Means you are just throwing a fake smile and you are not feeling it. Initially, we feel the smile, but they are in the habit of throwing it and they are senseless about those things, and that leads to alienation. Unnatural behavior, representing oneself unnaturally in the society, that according to Eric Fromm is leads to alienation. David Risman, his popular book The Lonely Crowd. In his book The Lonely Crowd itself denotes that even you are in crowd, you feel the loneliness. 100 में भी अकेले हैं. There's some song. Yes, he talks about the Western lifestyle. He said that in the West, people are so much engaged or busy related to their career that they have no time for their friends or the kinsmen or any other person to give. Everybody is very much sensitive towards their career, and no, that is the reason they don't have any social life. Okay, tell me, why Facebook was invented in West, not in India?
So because in West there is less social behavior among the people, like they are not that much interactive.
The lonely crowd. In India we have plentiful of time once the friend comes. और काम तो हो जाएगा. But there, yes my friend, in West, even the most important person, even if the girlfriend comes without appointment, if the boyfriend doesn't say to come inside the room, means inside the house, she won't come inside the house because you people have not, means they have not taken the appointment with each other. Or even the best friend cannot dare to disturb their personal life. If he happens to pass from that area without appointment, he can't go there. And what about here the best friend? ऐसे टाइम पे चलो जब लंच भी मिल जाए. Mindset change because they are very much focused to their career or their lifestyle. This is their lifestyle, and they are living in the crowd. In the office there are hundreds of workers, they are working, but no workers has time to interact with each other. At least in India, during lunch time or any special break, the workers make a group and go there, but their mindset are very different over there. That's why he said that due to loneliness in the society, you are living in the crowd, but you are feeling loneliness. You can't share your feeling with others. Again Aristotle comes here. We are social animal. We wish to share our feelings with other. When there is nobody to share the feeling, gradually you come into the phase of alienation. Disinterest in your life starts taking place. Yes, hopes. He says that in modern time, the modern government is hijacking the liberty, the freedom of individual on the name of security of life and property. And this is leading to alienation in the individuals. Marx also gives comment on them. They said that yes, they have given a very logical explanation, but I totally disagree with them. Why? Because they are giving abstract or subjective interpretation. And in sociology, we need to be practical. As we have already studied, Marxism talks about objectivity, the grand theory, the macro theory, isn't it? He says the reality of alienation can be brought under two aspects. He says that logically they are correct, but this is very much subjective. It cannot explain the process of alienation in all sort of society. Subjectively, we'll have to be very much individualistic, individual search. He says that major two reason for alienation is de-objectification and exploitation. Yes. He said that, as we have studied, that labor differentiate a human being from animals. Means by nature human beings are creative. He said that pre-industrial time, the individual used to create an object through their labor, and they used to enjoy the labor as well as the created object. Why they used to enjoy? Because they used to consider that whatsoever object they have created, they want to see their reflection of ideas or satisfaction. Just take an example. In pre-industrial society, if doll is to be created, a single person, artisan, will create the doll, and when you have completed the creation of the whole doll, you find your reflection in it. Okay, tell me one thing. In this world, one sun, S-U-N not S-O-N, one sun is the most eligible and skilled person or the best person in the world. Who is he? Every father has. Our creation, creativity. Remember, reflection, whatsoever we create, we try to find the reflection on those creation, and we are very much positive, and this gives the satisfaction. When we are creating, the artisan creates a doll, he feels his creativity. If others appreciate that this doll is very nice, you have carved it very nicely, again they feel the satisfaction of the labor. This was the condition in pre-industrial society. He said that in industrial society, de-objectification has taken place. Now, if any product is being created, nobody can claim that that product is mine. Just take an example of the doll itself. Now what happens? In factory system, there are different molds. Head, trunk, legs, different molds, different laborers are filling those things in mold, and finally it is going to the assembly room. Product is ready, but can any of the labor claim that I have created it? Your creativity has been lost. De-objectification has taken place. Means you have worked a lot. Whole day you were working, but it was incomplete. And due to incompleteness, you can't say other to it. Earlier, whosoever used to create the object, they used to be the producer. Now, you are working for a factory, you are not the owner, not the producer, and it is specially made for the profit or for the larger market. This is leading to de-objectification. Other to it, Marx says that modern industrial society, it is a competitive market. Even in the factory, the colleagues or the co-workers, they are not very much friendly with each other. Why? For the sake of promotion or extra incentives. Yes, if I am able to disclose our gossip to the manager, naturally some extra incentive will come, or there is better chances of promotion in future. Yeah. Yeah, favorism. Means due to this, now I have lost my trust in my co-workers. No comradeship, no fellowship, no trust. And because now we are working in the company, all of us are suspecting each other. Means now we have lost our trust as well as what we can say, belongingness to the co-workers, and that will also lead to alienation. Now you are working in the office for 8 to 10 hours but totally alone, not interacting with the others because you suspect each other.
So you said under the factory system, the level of interaction among the industrial workers will increase. Initially, that's what you said.
Yes?
You said initially that the level of interaction among the industrial workers will increase under the same roof in the industrial setup.
Yeah, that was the context of Marx here, that he said that proletariation will take place. Here he is talking that why alienation is taking place, and for that he gives the same solution what you are saying. At the solution point will come there. Okay? He is saying that why the alienation is taking place in industrial society. For that he is saying, what you are saying, remember, Marx has given one panacea, treatment for all sort of problem. That is abolition of capitalism and advent of communism. And he has always said that proletariats will overthrow them. Any sort of solution he has given on the basis of communism. Okay? Okay, we are talking here next, that is yes, due to competition, now belongingness you have lost. And then he says the people are also getting alienated from themselves. For this he said that actually alienation goes through the 4 processes. Or stages. One, he says, alienation from the process, alienation from the product, alienation from co-workers and colleagues, and alienation from self. Alienation from the process, de-objectification, isn't it? You are not the part and parcel. Second, de-objectification from the product. You are not the owner, somebody else is there. The alienation from co-workers or colleagues due to competitive nature, promotion and perks, incentive, means some sort of allurement. You are losing the belongingness. And he said lastly, that is alienation from the self. It is a cumulative effect of these three. Yes, various diversities, adversities and other things affects your personal life, isn't it? Everywhere you are estranged, and the repercussion or the cumulative effect of this will be on yourself. You will feel yourself like a machine, nothing else. Because you are alive, you have to work. He says that, actually he said that industrialization is not bad. He appreciates industrialization, but he criticizes capitalism. He says industrialization is a good thing. What happens in industrialization? Two characteristics emerges here, that is mechanization and specialization, that is division of labor. In industrialization, mechanization of product is taking place. Mass production through mechanization takes place. He said that machine is a good thing. Capitalism is a bad thing. Capitalism talks about the intention of the owner class, isn't it? He said that with mechanization, actually you can see that it will lower the burden on the individual, lessen the burden on the individual. Machines can produce the product more faster. Mass production can be done. But he said that mechanization, as it can lessen the burden, but in fact what happened? It overburdens the individual, the labor class, because now for a longer time you are in the process of mass production, dealing with the machine, first thing. Other to it, you are not enjoying your work handling the machine, because handling the machine doesn't need any special skill. A simple knack, simple skill, switch on, switch off, and the automated machine will do the things. You have to just observe them, and for a longer time you will feel totally disillusioned, or you won't feel the interest with your job. Alienation will take place, because you are losing your creativity. You don't have any special skill to learn, and whatsoever you had with a long process, you will leave them also, because you are not practicing those things. Just a simple machines on off, or some simple way of handling the machine. Second, a specialization of division of labor. In capitalist society, nobody has secured job. In private sector, till you have the skill, you are invited, you are welcome, or you will be retained. Once you lose the skill, you will be fired. Isn't it? In private sector, this is the mechanism. It means once you have learned the skill, you got a job. Already we have studied that technology is in the gradual change. Always some sort of improvement takes place. It means if you want to retain your job, you will have to add on the extra skill. Long years of your life means still you are in job, some addition of those skills is required. Otherwise there is a younger generation over there. Those people have better skill, and with lower compensation they can take your job. To save your job, why you need to save your job? Because you have responsibility of family, isn't it? And so You are forced for the social and biological needs. You are in the job and you know that to be in the job, I'll have to always involve myself with the extra development what is taking place. Already 8 to 10 hours you are investing in your office. Then extra time you will invest in learning those extra skills. When you don't have any extra time for your friends or the kinsmen. And this will be with you up to 60 years till you don't retire. And after retirement, after 30 years, if you happen to meet your friend, remember the friend won't be very happy because you have lost the feeling of each other. Friendship is also to be nurtured, isn't it? And then you will find that this friend is not the same which was in the college days. They are also alienated, you are also, means in such a situation you will find yourself in isolation. And this leads to alienation. So he says, Marx says that when you are in job, these are the compulsion which is forcing you to get alienated. Other to it, you are so much engaged in your job, you don't have any extra time. And every human being has some creativity in them. They are unable to water them or nurture them. Some of you may be singer, dancer, ABCD very or writer. These are also creativity of the human being, personal desire to do something. But when you are engaged in your job, you don't get any extra time to fulfill those satisfaction. It means you are not satisfied with your life, and this leads to alienation. He said that human being not is only an economical satisfaction is required, but social satisfaction is also required over there. But this capitalism doesn't give weight for the satisfaction of any other needs. So he said that in such a socio-economic situation, alienation is bound to take place. And he gives the solution that due to this, a time will come when proletariats will unite and overthrow capitalism. End is the same, panacea of all the truth. Yes, this was his process through which the alienation will take place, he has explained. Now let us come to some of the criticisms. Remember, his theory of alienation was appreciated by various quarters. They studied it, researched it, tried to implement his theoretical aspect to their studies, and different variety of result took place. One of the important critic of Marx alienation is Max Weber. He says that yes, it is correct. Alienation among the workers is taking place due to abnormal behavior or abnormal type of capitalist system, or under capitalism workers are facing trouble and getting alienated. But he says this alienation is not among the industrial worker itself, but every type of society has some sort of alienation. He said that he is not wrong, Marx is not wrong, but he has over dramatized a specific situation. Industrial workers. He said that the biggest source of alienation is bureaucracy. Remember, friends. Yes, he said that actually over abidance with the rules and regulation makes a bureaucrat alienated from the whole process. You are in such a position that you can help some real needy person, but your rule book has mentioned that under such and such section and subsection you can only do such thing. various sections and subsections and subsection. This shows that although you know through your rationality that the person is needy and we should help, but under sections and subsection it is not been allowed. Initially you will feel the emotional pinch, but after 4 or 5 years a general way of your interaction will be there. This happens, and he says that overabidance with the rule book or strictly disciplined by the rules and regulation of the bureaucracy, the hierarchy, the bureaucrats, after some time they becomes an intellectual without spirit. Other to it, C.W. Mills. He also tried to apply Marx alienation concept. Marx has applied on the manual workers. He has applied the same concept on non-manual workers. Means those, now in modern society there is prominence of service sectors, isn't it? In service sectors also we are employed, but they are non-manual workers. He applies, he says that actually in this service sector alienation is too high, and he says that skill with thing has changed into skill with person, and this is leading to alienation. Skill with thing means you try to develop the skill regarding a particular object. Engineer, all engineers are skilled towards a specific object. Actors, all actors are skilled. If you are an actor, means you are skilled in performing your act. But there is also an actor, Amitabh Bachchan. He is also an actor. Now he said that actually the skill has transformed from this skill in things to skill in person. Actually skill in with person is personality marketing. What he said that in modern time, with the skill with things has transformed into skill with person. All are actors, they can perform a specific work, or if we are talking about doctors, all doctors can perform the things they have been trained, but you will find that some of the doctors are very famous. The same thing here. It is, just take an example. Nowadays, the administrator or executives, they are recruited in private sector or any sector, even in your UPSC. Are they recruited on the basis of just their qualification? Two people from the same institute, same performance, same merit, but one gets the job, another doesn't get the job. Means it is not only the skill with the thing, but personally how you are able to represent yourself near the recruiter. Recruiter wants to see that do you have a personality to manipulate the situation in favor of your goal. This is demanding things, because you are going to be administrator or the executive, you will have to see the whole company. So this is the requirement, and that is with the specific person. Those people who possess those things, they get better success. Yes, I gave the example about the counselor or the receptionist. The moment you enter, she will throw a smile, batisi nikal denge. No interaction. Remember, my friend, again this is part and parcel of her duty, isn't it? She doesn't enjoy it, but because the duty expects such type of behavior, they are doing those behavior. And those who are able to better perform that behavior, they will have better chances of promotions. And that is naturally going to bring alienation. Just take Bollywood heroines, actresses. Are they really this much of beautiful? Means they can't come in public without makeup. Remember, they don't like it, but they can't, because the face what she has in the public, that is the market value, isn't it? That is the main market value. She doesn't enjoy that life. Remember, my friend, tomorrow you will become an IS or IPS, but you will be a simple person as an individual. This society makes you special. Otherwise, every person, they wants or they enjoys to lead a simple life. But the society will not allow you. That is the reason when you become, or any time, especially when you become celebrity, you become more possessive towards your family. Why? It is not that you are giving the return. You need your family, because family is the only place, how much successful you may be, वो लोग औकात पे रखते हैं. Won't give you extra importance, but they will always protect you, isn't it? That's why we go through those things, because human being, they are simple creature, but that is also your market value. We know that nowadays personality marketing takes place. The various organizations are being hired, because this is a demand of modern post-industrial society or the service sector. So he says that alienation is not only one form of that. What Marx has talked, he has talked with skill with things. But even in the non-manual workers, alienation takes place. Marcus Harbus, he says that yes, Marx is half correct. What is half correct? He says that Marx has said that the laborers, the proletariats will gets alienated due to monotonous work. Doing one thing repeatedly, you get alienated. He says that doesn't this apply to even the capitalist? They are also doing the same thing for a long years. So it should also equally apply to them, not only be biased towards the proletariat itself. Okay, this much of criticism is more than enough. What I have said, 3 or 4 points of criticism you should have handy. That will not only help you to give the flaws of the particular theory, but also in the discussion section. Okay? Okay, friends. Today we have completed these 2 mode of production and alienation. Tomorrow we will complete class conflict, the last topic of Marx. And then we will go to Durkheim.